Okay. Sounds good. It's probably your charger or your, I don't know. I don't have one of those. I don't know that you have to. There you go. I don't even know what that is.
It's our internet.
Oh, internet. Okay. That makes sense. Mine's just on Wi-Fi, I guess. That's what I said. Yeah, you don't have to have that. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
We don't have any music.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You could play your song that you've been singing all morning.
Oh, yeah. I think it's time for it.
I bet you're right.
This part sounds like somebody with a Casio keyboard.
Yeah, it does. It really does. That's exactly what it sounds like. The sun is shining. The sun is shining. Yay. Yay, yay, yay.
All right, guys. Welcome into the show before the show. Let's try a different song this morning. This is the show before the show. Glad everybody's jumping in with us. It is a great Thursday, May 9th. Lots of storms throughout the Midwest yesterday.
A lot.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Like, subscribe, share the show. This is Cancel This, CancelTheShow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. Joe, you're going to remember if you make a comment to put your camera on today.
No, he's boycotting cameras today.
No, we got.
He said, "I'm never doing camera ever
We're
again."
going to get him going.
I don't know. I think our listeners like your incognito Wilsonness.
Joe just gets to be a little forgetful sometimes.
No, he's doing this on purpose.
No, he's not.
No,
He does. He doesn't have that bone in his body.
Yeah, he does.
Some grind to be seen, I grind to disappear.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. Think about that. Some people grind to be seen, and some people grind to disappear. You know what, Joe? That's kind of profound when you think about it. Some people really have this need of, you need to see me, you need to see me, where you don't. You have things to say.
Or I need to be heard.
Right.
Yeah, well, he needs to be heard. But he
Hear
doesn't
me.
care if he's seen.
Sure. Exactly. I'm more of a radio guy, I guess.
There you go.
But we're not radio.
No, we're not. You're right.
That's a hard transition sometimes.
I was always told I had a face for radio.
Well, don't we all? And today, Gary listens to our show almost every day, even when he was recovering from surgery, and it's his 37th anniversary today. You don't hear of that much anymore. Good for him. You think about somebody that's been married that long, the shit you've been through.
Yeah. No kidding.
The Big Vic Cam.
I don't know why I just can't bring myself to remove that cam.
Yeah, so much fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Dear God.
The power you have back there is immense, actually. You know, that's the thing I've learned is if you're ever going to make someone angry, don't have it be the producer.
Oh, I wouldn't ever do anything to make you guys look bad.
But you could.
I mean,
I love it.
it's not what I'm in the business for, though.
Exactly. You know, I'm reading something right now from a listener, Joe, that he put on his Facebook in the Bible, the 2 Timothy 4. For there is going to come a time when people won't listen to the truth, but will go around looking for
Oh, yes.
who will tell them just what they want to hear. They won't listen to what the Bible says, but will blithely follow their own misguided ideas. Yep. That's our show right there. Trying to tell the truth about everyone's misguided ideas.
Getting ready to start the show before the show. Grateful for everybody being here today. Putting a couple things in here, getting some sites up. What's up with everybody's world this morning?
The sun is shining, and after several days of the sun night shining here in the Midwest, that's nice. Joe even came in singing this morning because the sun was out.
Yeah, no kidding.
As I was pulling in,
Mm.
here you go, Vic. Sorry.
What's that? What's
Yeah,
wrong?
tell
As I
it.
was pulling in the song by Johnny Nash, I Can See Clearly Now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
was great.
playing as I was coming down Edison, coming
That's
straight at the
great.
building.
Now that the rain is gone. I love rain. I'm not somebody that doesn't like it. I like a good old fashioned rain and curl up with a book or your little doggy or whatever. But enough is enough for right now. I needed some sun.
Oh, yeah. All right. Crazy storms. Yeah. We had some crazy storms. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's in Kentucky. So she had some crazy storms there too. Tennessee got really hit hard. Some of our listeners a couple days ago got hit hard in Crawford County.
All right. I guess we could start the show, Joe. I appreciate it. Whenever. Hey guys, welcome to Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. Thursday, May 9th, time for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. News, headlines, politics, cancel culture. We've got all kinds of water cooler talk stories as well. You guys bring us your ideas, bring us your stories. Love watching what's going on. Okay, Lizzie, I was talking to a gentleman this morning at the gas station. He said, how do I comment on your show? How does somebody comment? If they're watching X, which is our number one platform by far, can people comment from X and it be on the chat line?
Yes and no. So like you can chat on it, but we have a hard time seeing it here because that's one of the things that we don't have come up on our computer. I can switch on the phone and kind of look at it. But on X, it's a little different than the other platforms. It comes up and then kind of fades away. So it's a little bit harder to see, but you can comment. You definitely can.
And it'll pop up what we see right now.
No.
Okay, well, that's what we need to make sure people understand.
Yes. So if you're commenting, unless I'm literally looking at my phone and switching it over to X, I can't see your comments on X.
Well, that's a problem.
It is a problem because we have the most people on X, but our most avid chat line is Facebook.
But not many people are watching on Facebook.
Right. That's one of our lower
At least live.
Yeah, live. Facebook after the fact is very large. And our audio platforms where there is no commenting after, there's a lot of people there. Some YouTube, some Rumble commenting, but mainly on Facebook. And yes, you can comment on X, but I have to switch. And I'm just being honest. I could talk to them better when I had the desk and I had all these computers.
How do
set
you
up.
talk to them? Well, we may get that back somehow. We're still
Yeah,
looking at
I
that.
have to then, this is what I do. I switch to this and then I hit X and then I can hit it and then I can see them then.
The problem with X is they don't archive the
comments.
chat,
Correct.
which so that means you can't go back and read it. And
But how long does it stay up? That's
a few seconds.
Just for a few seconds. So if you're commenting on X and I'm not looking straight at it at that moment, it stays for about 3 seconds and then floats away. Now that's not our issue. That's X's issue. That's not our issue. So that's nothing we're doing.
He was just like, oh, I heard you guys talking the other day. I wanted to make a comment and I
Yeah.
didn't know where to go to do it.
Facebook is the best way, or YouTube is the best place to comment where you're going to see it on the computer, Vic.
The OG listeners are on Facebook going back to the Edge days.
Correct. There's a lot of Edge people still on there, and there's a lot of new people on there too. We have a huge national base on X.
The problem is on Chasebook.
Facebook, that's right.
We have been shadow fanned
Yes,
multiple times.
Multiple times. Correct.
And it's still going on.
That's right. So that's why it's great that if there's ever a platform down, there's no reason to panic like we were doing briefly, because we're on just about everything you can be on. You can find it on YouTube, X, Twitch, Clout Hub,
Rumble.
Facebook, Rumble. Rumble is the only one that has never glitched for us, though, is X. Even Rumble has glitched, not because they're trying to censor us at all. They just buffer sometimes on some people's. So say AT&T is having a problem, or say Spectrum's having a problem, and your own system is buffering. That might not have anything to do with us. Rumble buffers every now and again.
Very interesting talking about the platforms.
Yes.
Just because I get asked,
Mhm.
and there are still so many people. We broadcast live out of the St. Louis metropolitan area. We have a national audience, hell, international audience. But I still have people in like all kinds of people in our own backyard that have no idea what we're doing.
Correct.
So I wanted to take the time to let everybody know, let people know if you can,
That's right.
if you like what we do, if this information should be out there, because guess what? Times are getting crazy.
They are.
And they're going to get more crazy, and
Mhm.
people need to be educated. And that's what we try to do. And, we have a committed staff of people that we're doing more shows coming, and we love your support. We do. We're grateful for it. I've told you guys before, Lizzie has been here busting her butt, and guess what? Lizzie gets a teeny little bit of money. That's it. A teeny bit, like change. But she believes in the cause, and that's how great Lizzie is. Joe, the same dang thing. We have to find other work for Joe. We're doing it just to keep this thing going, because we see the value in it. We see people watching. We see people continuing to come in. We see our audience continue to grow. So we just want to say thank you for you guys for coming in, your stories. It's fun to be friends over the show, and you guys send us stories. So thank you so much on this May 9th story. Okay. We've got the good, the bad, the ugly today. We've got all kinds of things to get into. As Lizzie said, we need truth these days. Glenn says Trump change.
Yeah, Trump change. That's exactly right.
We could
Trump
use
change.
some Trump change
Uh-huh. That's right.
around the cancel this studio.
That's right. That's right. Wait, what do you think about? I love it so much.
Oh,
When
we
he
love
loses $10,000. It's just Trump change to him.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's Trump change.
Yeah.
No
that's
biggie.
No biggie.
Joe, yep, Joe is awesome too. So we're grateful. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the shows. And by the way, if you've been somebody in the past who donated, thank you. We're grateful for that too. Thanks for all the help Derek has given us, Eric Johnson, Kelly Mano, and of course, Megan, who is one of our hosts as well. By the way, Megan from our show, one of our fill-in co-hosts, she starts her own podcast Friday.
Oh, tomorrow.
Mhm.
So that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That is awesome. You guys have got to listen to Megan.
It's not uplifting.
No,
but it's
not
real.
Uplifting. Yeah. If you listen to Megan's podcast, you will probably leave crying. And I'm not saying that so that you don't listen. She just absolutely knows the truth of what she's talking about the dark underbelly of human and sex trafficking. She understands it. She lives it. She breathes it. That's both her job and her volunteer work. she's got the truth like no one else.
And Joe, is that going to be live, or is she going to be dropping it on a taped version?
I have to say, she has done her homework. She has 2 episodes already plotted out, and it will be recorded. It won't be live, however.
And then we'll let people know how they can find it.
Yes.
What is the name of it again? Innocence?
Invisible Innocence.
Invisible Innocence. So we look forward to that. Her podcast will be on all the platforms that we're on.
Yes.
So you'll find her there. Megan Marie. So we're grateful for her jumping in and getting that show going.
Yeah. And we'll let you know as soon as Megan has it go out, because Abe is asking, when is her podcast on?
And it will be like a podcast platform. Our show is not like your normal podcast. We're more of a show on podcast.
Correct. Hers will be a true podcast, where most people don't understand.
Quick hitting, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes.
That's right. And most of the time they're recorded and then sometimes go out live, but they were recorded. So hers is a true podcast, and you guys do not want to miss it. She is just phenomenal.
Couldn't agree anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Getting back to our news of the day. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. I have to start with Joe Biden today. Is that all right? Can we start with Joe to get us kicked off here?
Yeah, you might as well.
Well, I want to start because the man has lost his effing mind even more so. I love the fact that he's at Mike's, but he's really, really, really bad. Okay, let's start with CNN. Okay, here's the deal. CNN is starting to call Joe out, and we have talked about this. Joe Biden in an interview literally tried to say that when he took office, inflation was 9%. That is a lie. That's a lie detector. Inflation was 1.4%. Hey, just lie. Keep lying. The more times you say a lie, the more it becomes true.
Mm-hmm, just lie.
Okay. So you deal with that. Joe Biden, 9%. Now, CNN just absolutely obliterated. I think was it Emily Burnett? I can't remember her name, but we'll see in a second. Obliterated Joe on where we stand right now.
Good.
And listen to his response.
By a wide margin, trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations.
Is he awake?
Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a 2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape.
No, they don't,
I think
Joe.
the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape.
He said, hey, look at Michigan. So first of all, the sound, the look.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes, look at the survey in Michigan, 65%. But then he goes to Michigan, but then he says, but people around America think that they're doing better. I was like, what? The whole thing is just messed up. It's so bad.
Really
it's so
is.
wrong. Joe Biden has lost his mind. We've done the inflation totals and comparisons countless times here.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tell you lies again. 9%. The inflation was not 9%.
Mm-hmm.
1.2, 1.4% at most with Donald Trump. So once again, they'll continue to lie and tell you what isn't a reality in hopes that you'll believe it. Hey,
Come on, man.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah. That's what Aaron Burnett should have just said to him. Come on, man.
Yeah, but that wasn't it for Joe. Now
No,
that's
that
the
wasn't
scary
it.
bad. Now some of the funny embarrassing. Look, can we do the don't jump? Joe Biden at a presser. Don't know what the hell he's thinking, what he's doing. This is the president of the United States of America at the end of a presser, at the end of a talk. Please, what the hell is he doing?
Don't jump.
What?
Show that again.
What?
He literally looks up and tells people not to jump.
Yeah, and people then turn around.
What does he mean?
Don't jump.
I would love to know what that is, because people turn around and look like they're going to take a picture of somebody behind him, and he just says, "Don't jump," and then there he goes. Poopy
Just look
pants.
at, watch him again.
Don't jump.
Did you hear the 5 people chanting 4 more years?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I hear that now. I didn't hear that at first.
Don't jump.
I think he's saying don't jump because of the people who said 4 more years feel
Wait.
like they want to jump.
Wait a minute,
because
can we-
life is bad.
Oh, can we do it one more time? I'm going to talk over him when he does it because I think I know what he said.
Don't jump.
Go Trump.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what he meant
That
to
makes
say.
more
Go Trump.
Go Trump. Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. That's right.
Go
Oh
Trump.
my gosh. You know, I think he thinks when he's lucid even a little bit, I think he thinks he's a comedian. I think he thinks he's really quite funny
my God.
if he's not pooping in his pants.
Well, he's
You know,
trying to compete with Trump, who is more like a comedian.
that's right. Right. Really, Donald Trump is
Go
one of the
Trump.
funniest people I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
no, he is. Oh, but not to anybody.
Oh no.
But keep in mind, even Pro Joe didn't like Trump at one point in time. When he heard his voice, it was like, "Eee," which is why I do think that there's a special call in Joe's life because anybody
There's
that
a
can go
special call.
that you don't go from disliking Trump. Kind of, would it be fair to say hate, or is that too strong? You don't hate anybody.
No, I hate is definitely a strong word. I just couldn't stand, like, even as a reality star, you know, when he had his own show, I didn't like him then either. I just
Yeah.
thought he was arrogant. He was.
And what do you think about him now?
I think he's a good leader, and I'm not like, you know, it's not like I'm, you know, in love with Trump.
But
or
you're going to
anything.
kiss his ring or anything.
Would you kiss
Right.
his ring?
No,
Would you break bread
I'd
with
shake
him?
his hand.
Would you
and I'd
break
look
bread
him in
with
the
him?
eye.
Would
Yeah,
you
I'd
go out to
break- yeah,
dinner?
of course I'd
Hey.
break. Yeah, sure.
Hell, if he said, "Hey Joel, roll me one of those fat flour joints you make,"
I'd smoke a joint.
hell
with him.
yeah, you'd smoke one with him.
But Donald Trump doesn't do
I don't think
drugs
he would,
or
though.
alcohol.
No, he
Right.
doesn't.
Either one. I think he's like Chanel Rion, who says if you're in those
Mm.
situations, don't drink alcohol either. She mainly specifically said alcohol because
Oh,
you might say things you shouldn't say.
Chanel from OA. Chanel from OAN.
Yeah, that's what she said. Mhm.
Man, she went to Harvard.
Yeah, I think
she'd be smoking some flour, Lizzie. Come on.
I've never known her to do it.
Heck yeah.
No, I don't think so. I
Joe?
don't think so. No.
Wait, what?
No. That's a
Sorry, I had a stoner moment. there
take
for a
another
second.
take
Uh-huh.
another puff, puff, puff. Andrew says my pocketbook misses him. By the way, you can go to our People's platform. We appreciate it. Several hundred comments just in a couple hours. We're grateful for you guys jumping in and letting us know what
It's
you
awesome.
think.
love
Go Trump.
Go Trump.
Don't jump. Go Trump.
Uh-huh.
Love you guys and your comments from the Facebook line. Okay, that's not it as well, or the chat line. Joe Biden, here we go again, guys. Oh my God. He had another prompter moment yesterday.
Oh, good old Joe Biden.
When will this man realize, when will his writers, they can't put him in these situations.
No.
They have to know,
Mhm.
which makes me go, are they doing it on purpose?
It does make you wonder that. Like, are they doing it on purpose so that if they have to replace him, and I'm not saying that they are, I think they're going to run him in November. I really do. But in case they do, they're making it more obvious now. So if they do have to replace him, oh, poor little Joe, he used to be.
And
so
Lizzie, keep talking
intelligent.
because my video didn't go through and I have
Okay.
to send it again.
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, so many people have different opinions on this, and a lot of people from a year ago been saying that they're going to replace Joe Biden. I don't think so unless they absolutely have to, because the pooping in the pants gets too out of control. But the reason why I don't think so is the people like Jake Sullivan and Barack Obama, who are really running this country. They don't care that we look stupid. They really don't. Matter of fact, I think Barack Obama relishes in the fact
Of course
that
he does.
America looks ridiculous. 'Cause
Without him.
Yes. Well, you're right, for two reasons, because his pride is very big and he doesn't want the country to do well without him. But even prior to that, he hates this country. He's a Muslim. He doesn't like anything about it. He was raised by his stepdad that is part of the regime. And so he doesn't like our country at all. So having Joe Biden there is almost, I think, like sweet music to the ears of Barack Obama and Jake Sullivan and whoever else is also running them, because we look dumb. I think they enjoy that our country looks dumb, and they can control everything Joe Biden does for numerous reasons. For one, he doesn't know what he's doing. And they love that he doesn't know what he's doing. His wife knows what he's doing, but Joe Biden is evil. I mean, she's been evil from day one. So she is so compromised. And, there's so many things we don't even know. We know that they're compromised with money laundering, China, Russia, Ukraine, all of those fun things that they've done to embarrass our country. And now, and we'll get into this later, now how he is embarrassing us on how he's going to handle weapons, now going forward to our allies. I mean, that's what people don't understand. There are allies, and they now don't want them to have any weapons. Why? Well, because Jake Sullivan said so, because Barack Obama said so. Why? They hate our country. First and foremost, they hate our country. But there's also, it's about power, control, and all of those things. And so, I mean, a lot of people on our chat line have different opinions about Joe Biden and whether he's going to leave or not in November. I think they're going to play him out until they can.
He's running now. I was wrong.
I thought from the beginning.
I was wrong.
Well, and to me, it just seemed like common sense.
It's too late to replace him, isn't it?
They're not going to replace him.
It's too late.
Yeah, they're not going to replace him unless he absolutely just cannot walk anymore. They won't replace him because this is perfect for them. This is perfect for the uniparty. This is perfect for the deep state because they don't care that we look dumb. All they want is power, control, and their money. And Joe Biden gives them all three of those things. He's just, I mean, they love the country looking like this.
I'm laughing so I don't cry, but at the same point in time,
it does want to make you cry, doesn't it?
It's, once again, you still don't hear people say Joe Biden is better than Donald Trump and give reason.
Right.
There's no meat to the story. There's no meat to the backing. There's no facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, he's bad. But Donald's bad if they don't like him for whatever reason.
Right.
But we already know it's almost like we've dumbed it down so bad.
Yeah.
That now we're just like, okay, we're going to see if the cheating works. I mean,
right. They know we know too. They know we know. And like Jay's saying, they would never have anyone they could not have absolute control over. That's why it would have to be, say if he doesn't run, it would have to be Newsom because they know that he's compromised.
Mm-hmm.
I've even said this before, the Michelle Obama, they can control her too, but I don't think he wants to do it.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, here's a funny video that we have for you. I appreciate it from the listening audience. Guys, we love your stuff. We kind of wanted to start the show off with, I don't know, some fun stuff too. So Joe, here's Joe Biden.
Here comes Joe.
Well, I thought, Joe, you're high today, aren't you? You came into the studio high.
I'm doing a million things at once back here. I'm sorry, guys. I swear I'm not high today. Okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh, that's long overdue. That's so great. That is so great. That goes with Connie's comment. Wouldn't put it past the liberals to stick Joe in a wheelchair and to try to get some sympathy votes. We're making a joke, but you know what? Connie's right.
Stair Force One for our listening podcast. Joe Biden sitting in a chair that you would have in your home that helps people who can't walk properly for whatever reason upstairs. There, so Stair Force One.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks, Glenn. We appreciate you sending us that in.
That's good. That's good stuff.
But if that's not it, we also found the sound, which was sent to Joe regarding his prompter comment. Yeah, we had another prompter issue yesterday.
Yeah, they have it every day, it seems like.
I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving, or the gift that keeps on reminding you just how bad things are. Okay, here's Joe yesterday. Again, if you're going to have Joe Biden give speeches, please do not put in parentheses or in brackets a word that he's not supposed to say. What did he say last week when he screwed up at the prompter, or a week and a half ago? Remember? Pause. And if you're just pause.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yesterday they put another word in parentheses. It was called last name, meaning he said the guy's name and it says last name in parentheses. That means, Joe, you don't say what's in the brackets that means it's an idea for you to understand what's going on. They had to coach him on this,
I'm sure.
unless they're doing it on purpose. So I don't know what to believe anymore. Here's another one. And there's people who want to vote for this guy.
I can't even.
Here
I
you
can't
go.
My theology professor at the Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name, and he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
Oh my God. Last name.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
If they're not giving him the shots, he is in trouble. And when he gets the shots, he can't do it every day or it'll kill him.
That's right.
It'll kill him.
That's
His
right.
heart will, or it'll unalive him. His heart
It
will
will
stop.
unalive him. Mhm.
His heart will stop.
Ugh.
Jay says, don't worry, the official transcript will fix it. Joe, can we see it again? Is that possible? To just look at, he just goes without a beat. Last name. Last name.
My theology professor.
Oh, yeah, you know a
Catholic
lot
school I
about
went to
theology.
Mhm.
was a guy named Riley, last name, and he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, and like Connie says, it doesn't even seem to dawn on him that he does that. Like, I could.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it because all the media doesn't show it.
That's right. That's right. Very few places are showing that he said that.
Of course they're not going to
Or
show
they
it.
play it off. Or they'll play it off. That he wanted to denote that Riley is, because Riley can be used for a first name or a last name. So they would just want to denote the fact that's his last name. That's how they'll play it off. That's how they'll say it if it even comes up.
Oh, or does he mean Riley is the last name?
Uh-huh. That's how I did hear that.
Last name.
And that's how they played it off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all know better. This
We
is
do know
cancel
better.
this, cancelthisshow.com. Megan says he learned theology in the black neighborhoods he grew up in.
That's right. Along with his hairy legs getting rubbed by the children.
Well, he grew up
While
in the
being a truck driver.
That's right.
while being from the Netherlands,
Mhm.
while being Hispanic, while living in Puerto Rico, while being of Irish descent, while being a licensed tractor truck driver.
And who was it? His uncle got eaten by
Or-
cannibals.
Yeah.
I mean,
This guy.
his uncle Bozy.
Oh my God. Democrats. We love you. We promise. We promise we do. But come on, you can't vote for
No,
that
you
guy.
don't. No, you don't.
I love Democrats. I love everybody. I'm about peace
Okay.
and harmony
Corn Pop's a bad dude.
Yeah.
and corn pop. Joe, we need to see you make those comments.
I think that is great. Oh.
Yeah. So there you go. Joe. And then, of course, as we led the show off with, if you weren't here yet, when I took office, inflation was 90%.
Mm-hmm.
It was 9%. Liar. An
Awful.
airline pilot. Yeah, he was an airline pilot.
Yeah, that's
too.
right. I forgot about that. He was an airline pilot. He is just one multi-faceted, talented man. I can't believe you wouldn't like him, Vic. He's just such a wonderful person.
I shat myself. Wonderful Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, in better news, Barron Trump may become political.
I heard that.
He's going to be a delegate for Florida.
I love it.
I love it too.
I do
Barron
too.
Trump. Eric Trump is also a delegate.
Yes, and I thought Junior was too.
Yeah, he is. All the Trump children are,
Yeah.
except even the
even Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Yeah, even Tiffany.
The only one that's not right now, which is ironic, who probably has the most political chops of anybody, is Ivanka.
I disagree with that.
Which part do you disagree?
Well, I think she's got political chops, but I think she embarrassed her dad a lot, and I think he
Well, she
loves
did.
her. He loves her, but she leans to the left a little bit more than I like.
Yeah, well, but I know, but you have to go across party lines sometimes.
I'm not saying that you don't, but it didn't really work for them.
She's Republican.
No.
You
No,
don't think so?
no,
I still think
do
she
not.
is.
I absolutely do not think she's Republican. I think she's an independent. Well, matter of fact, her and Eric both, when they were in New York, they were registered independents. And I understand being a registered
It was a different
independent.
time.
It was, but I don't know. There's something I like. I love all of his kids, probably Eric the most. And Tiffany's growing on me too. But there's something about Ivanka because of her husband, Jared. I just don't trust
Reports are now coming out that she is more, well, Jared, he brokered peace in the Middle East.
her. I get that.
Ivanka is now warming to the idea of getting back into politics. That's a new report that came out in New York yesterday.
Well, I didn't hear that, and I have mixed emotions about that because I if she is now understanding the bigger picture, and I do think she is, because she's toned down how much she's talking about what her dad should say and what her dad shouldn't say. So I would hope that all 5 of his kids would be backing their dad. And I don't just mean backing because
We're going to see it. But she was also having to testify too.
Yeah, I get that too. Yeah. Yeah. And see, Gary's even saying she's a lefty independent.
I saw Gary say that.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, if you really watched her, my mouth would drop when she would open her mouth. And I loved the fact that she was very pro human trafficking. I loved that. But where my head started to cock going, I don't know. For years, I owned a business for years.
Pro human trafficking?
I'm sorry, pro-anti.
Okay,
Thank you for correcting me. Pro-anti-human trafficking. She was one of the first people that were big like that. But then she said very democratic statements like, okay, I owned a business. I owned a childcare center for so long. And she wanted to deprivatize, like Hillary, deprivatize childcare centers and put them in the public school system, which would essentially take the entrepreneur out of people who really love children. And she wanted to give free childcare to this and free to this. That's great if you're somebody that lives on the system, but if you own a business, that's really not so great. You have to give all that to your employees.
Barron and Don Jr. over Eric and Ivanka. I love it. I still think she's conservative. I do.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
I met her.
Then she must have changed.
I met her and I interviewed her.
Okay.
What was it in 2019, right before the election?
Okay.
I interviewed her here in the St. Louis area. She came into town and gave a speech at a college. I'm trying to remember what college it was. It was right over on the Illinois side. Dang, I can't remember where it was.
SIU?
No. A small one. Damn, I can't remember. Anyway, so I had a one-on-one with Ivanka. Strikingly beautiful.
She's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous.
She was.
All of his kids are.
She was so good that I was like, this has been manufactured. Everything is just perfect to the T.
Mm-hmm.
How she shook my hand, how she spoke to me. I'm going, wait a second. But when she was giving her speech and it was all about strong conservatism, I believed it. And I teach people how to public speak and how to show emotion and be real. And there was no acting to it. There just
that's
wasn't.
good. That makes me
There
feel
was
better.
no acting. And if there was acting, then she is in the wrong profession.
Because she would be that good. Well, I hope so. I'm glad that you're saying that, because I just found some of her policies a little, foreboding, so to speak. So I'm glad to hear that, because I would really want all 5 of his.
Well, we don't have to agree, which is great. I just thought that I just don't think that she has wanted to be in the limelight. I felt like we need to get her out of the limelight for a little bit.
She did need to get. I thought the opposite. I thought
and she's a mom raising kids as well too. And not every woman wants to be in the spotlight all the time, and you get worn out. And everybody was talking about a run for 2028.
Yeah,
I mean, that was already happening.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn says she was like that on The Apprentice as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, and some people don't handle the limelight as well as others too.
Mm-hmm.
And we just, you're Trump, go be in the front of a camera.
Right.
Like Joe was saying, some people grind to be on TV. Some people grind to be in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Barron, 18 years old. We'll see. It's been very interesting to watch him grow up. And by the way, the dude is like 6'6" now.
And he's so intelligent, apparently.
I haven't met him. I haven't had a chance to speak to him. I'd be curious to find out how he is. But
you don't see him speak that much. But from what I've heard from people that go there and talk to him, said he's just very intelligent.
Really? That's
what I've heard.
Good to hear.
Well, and it was aggravating, because I remember the left right away when Melania stayed, I guess it was in New York instead of going to DC, because his son she wanted him to finish school. And I thought, gosh, it made me like her even more, caring about her son. And so many of the left people came out and said, oh, he's autistic. He's this or that.
Who's autistic?
They were saying Barron was autistic.
Oh my God.
And here's the thing that I thought was interesting about that. Even if he was, why are you so mean to say that?
Because of his last name. Because of his last name.
That's right. And that was just really showed me and of course, it was people like Whoopi Goldberg and a bunch of other people, but they were saying he's autistic and that's why he goes to this special school and blah, 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 blah. And I thought right there, I was like, you people have zero class.
Autism doesn't mean the same that it used to.
Correct. That's exactly. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't.
Even Elon Musk is autistic.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Megan says Jared has to run off on her. Can't be married to a lib and not waver.
I'm not sure what she means.
Meaning Jared
Oh,
on
has
Ivanka.
to rub off on her.
Oh, rub off.
Yeah. Correct. Because I guess Megan is saying that Jared is a liberal.
Well, here's the other issue with that too, Megan. I know a couple couples, and we have people here on the chat line. One's Republican, one's Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
They're older. If you're younger, I don't know how in this day and age.
I don't know how you could do it. If you're 50 years old or older, even 45 and older, you can probably live in the same house and be politically different. But if you're younger, it's now not politics anymore. It's your entire methodology of life. It's your total ideology. So I don't know how. I would have a really difficult time being married to a very far left person. I don't know what I could handle that.
Yeah, from the chat line, and just put that up, Joe, when you get a chance. All of Trump's kids are stellar.
They really are.
Then you have the drug addict,
Mm-hmm.
coke whore, liar, international terrorist when it comes to finances, Hunter Biden. Yeah, there's 6'7". Trump's every bit of 6'2", by the way.
Yeah, he's
if
really
not
tall.
taller. And there's Barron. I mean, that dude, yeah, he is a tall kid.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, can you imagine being around Donald all the time?
Yeah.
And what he has learned. I mean, of course, Melania is nothing but class, grace,
Absolutely.
dignity,
That's right.
elegance, all of that. Those are two damn good parents, I would think.
I think so too.
To rub off on him.
And the way that she stands by Donald Trump through all of this and is still so classy, I really admire Melania. Really do.
Well, that's what the other part of this was too. All the fake trials and everything else. And they bring up Stormy Daniels, try to ruin his marriage,
Mhm.
try to say that she's not there. And of course, she's arguably the most intelligent first lady we've ever had.
Yes. for
And
sure.
Democrats would go, oh my God, that's like nails going down the chalkboard here in
Uh-huh.
Big City. She speaks 5 freaking languages. How many languages do you speak, dumbass? I
Right.
mean, seriously.
Mhm.
I've heard people talk about her not being so smart, and that's why she just sits back. Many times, the quietest person, most of the time, the quietest person in the room is the most intelligent
Correct. That is
because they
true.
listen
Mhm.
and they observe. And they're not trying to be heard because we always know it's always somebody. Yeah, it's like it's the Napoleon syndrome.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
you want to be something that you're not and try to do it
Mhm.
where many times quiet is intelligent.
Correct.
And there's no doubt
Oftentimes.
she's super intelligent, especially when she speaks. Paul says, I love when my Libby friends call all of Trump's kids crooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It does make you want to shake your head. It's like, really? I mean, to
Mhm.
have 5 kids and all of them turn out really stellar and great, that says a lot. I mean, about Donald Trump. We already know that these 5 kids come from 3 different women, but the common denominator is Donald Trump, and all of his kids are marvelous.
By the way, as Joe was saying, it just came from the chat line. Elon Musk has Asperger's.
I just responded saying that that's classified. It's the same thing, basically.
Well, now it
Asperger's
is.
and autism, they're classifying them basically
Because
as
it's
the
under
same
the
thing.
spectrum. It's under
Right,
the
right.
autism spectrum now. And it is, they are distinctly 2 different things, but they now put them all under the same umbrella.
Right.
Oh, they also berated her, Melania, for posing nude decades ago. Wasn't that decades ago in earlier
Decades
modeling
ago,
days?
and they're just jealous.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah, you get all those things that are happening. They've got it is also just fascinating when you look at some of those things that are going on. Yet the Trump train is getting so popular. They're bringing up a case again today. Stormy Daniels is back in court, and she was getting hammered, no pun intended, on social media.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for getting that. All over social media.
She's proud of that, by the way.
I laid awake last night thinking
Mhm.
about something to say.
Uh-huh. Well, that was a good one. We needed the dinger there, Joe. Ding, ding, ding.
Joe's slow today.
I
Joe
almost-
came in high.
Well, I almost popped in the big Vic cams.
Uh-huh. That would have been good
But the
too.
cam doesn't make sense.
The dinger does, though.
I'm glad you guys. So anyway, yeah, she's been getting hammered all over social media because of what we've been showing you for a long time. Her letter stating that nothing ever existed for a relationship, for hush money, for
Mhm.
anything. And then she lied about it on the stand. She was allowed to lie about it.
Yeah.
So she did a bunch of lying. She's proving to be a terrible witness and perjuring herself, off track, not even talking about what he was, quote, being charged for. And she's back for day 2 today. God knows what's going to happen. I think she'll be better and more on script, but is it too late?
I
Also,
think she did a lot of damage
hell yeah, to herself,
to herself. That's
and the
yeah.
case,
Yes.
and to DA Bragg,
Mhm.
not to Trump. He's probably sitting there going, dear God, get this dumbass off the stand.
Yeah.
Or actually keep her on the stand. But when you also look at everything else that's happening because of Michael Cohen's farce of a testimony,
Michael.
it's being recognized right now by Matt Gaetz. It may even be by Speaker Johnson as well. They have put him up for to come to the House and speak on criminal charges for lying. Yeah, Michael Cohen has gotten himself into a big problem, and it's not going away. This has come down now where he may have to make a stop at the House to talk about his testimony. And wouldn't that be something very interesting? All of these stories now coming to light that we've been talking about from day one over and over again, coming back to have to deal with these issues.
Mhm.
Oh, really? Really? So you're going to do that now? Okay. Well, I was trying to make sure that I knew exactly who it was, but it's for sure Matt Gaetz is trying to bring him to the House right now to make him talk about some of the things. It's Jim Jordan, James Comer are the ones who are doing this. They've referred Michael Cohen to the DOJ for criminal prosecution for perjuring himself before Congress because of testimony and his time being in Congress. Because guess what? The one thing all these witnesses have in common, they lie. Their stories don't add up.
Mhm.
And it's whatever fits the day. This is kind of a big deal. What will happen with the DOJ? Not quite sure. But there is now evidence, and they produced it, and they have his testimony, and they have the testimony that goes against one another, just like we saw with Stormy Daniels. Her testimony is not adding up. Oh, and by the way, she stole his $500,000 to Donald Trump, and she wrote in her letter, going back to 2017, I never had an affair. I never received money for to hush up, and I've said this 5 times, end of story.
That's right.
And she may end up getting herself in more trouble now.
Sounds like it.
I don't.
She's not creditable.
No,
I
she
mean,
looks like she's on drugs to me too.
She does.
I know she's all strung out. I know that being a porn star, call girl, escort can wear on women, and the depression that sits in for
I can't
women
even
who live that
imagine.
kind of life.
Mhm.
And God knows how many abortions she's had as well.
Yeah.
All of that is horrible for a person, a human, a woman to deal with. She's at her wit's end. That's why she's lying. She's being bought and paid for.
Mhm.
She can't. I could only imagine she couldn't be of any worth in that industry.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, and when she came out the other day and said that she hated Trump, I mean, of course she hates Trump. It doesn't even have anything to do whether they had an affair or they don't have an affair. She still owes him money. So, I mean,
$500,000 is more than just Trump change.
that's right. That's not Trump change. That's right. Not to her anyway. So, I mean, of course she hates him. I mean, of course she does. She lost. Now she's going to lose again. And now that whole case is looking like a big old farce. I mean, we knew it was from the beginning, but now everyone else has to think so too.
That's her consequences for everything that she did. Tanya says she looks stoned off her ass. That's what I was saying. She's taking some sort of medication, some sort of pill, something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there's something wrong with her.
Something.
There really is. There really
Donna
is.
says, Vic, oxy eyes. One looks at you and I can't disguise them. One look at you and I can't disguise them.
I think it's a song.
Oh,
Not sure what the song is.
oxy eyes.
Oxy eyes. Well, she apparently has oxy eyes. Maybe oxycodone eyes.
Well, from the chat line, Todd also says if Trump doesn't keep his mouth shut today, he could be in jail by the end of the day.
That's right. That's right. But I think that's what he wants.
I'm starting to think that as well.
He said it. He said he's willing
This is
to
such
go in.
this is such a just farce of a trial and a case, and he knows
Mhm.
that he's like, why not? You're going to make this a clown show. I'll make it a clown show back on you. But of course, as we reminded people, and I know not everybody's with us every minute of the day. And by the way, we do appreciate you sending us videos. And then I remind a lot of people sometimes, well, we've already shown that video, like, oh, I missed it. I wasn't there for 5 minutes or whatever. Continue to send those in. Donna
That's
says
right.
Hungry Eyes.
Oh, it's a song by Hall
Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah. Good song. I like it.
hmm
Do It. A sure win for Trump.
I agree.
But-
He's just pushing the envelope. But the last time he didn't even speak out about his opinion. He read actual headlines.
Correct.
So they couldn't do anything to him then. He read the headlines.
And don't forget, it was an issue that we brought up earlier in the week. Megan, I thought, said this. He may want to get this pushed to a federal trial where this becomes such a clown show. It gets pushed to a federal court.
Correct.
And guess what? It gets pushed after the election.
I know. You just can't make that up either. That's so good. That's so good.
It brings joy to our lives here on canceltheshow.com because he's always one step ahead. He just really is. Pam says she is being paid to go against Trump in this whole Stormy sharing.
Of course she is.
With Trump is purposely done, of course, because the details have nothing to do with what he's being charged
That's
with.
right. Nothing.
Zero. It's all about just trying to tear him down as a man, try to make fun of him, lies or whatever, try to destroy his family. That's why I was saying, you go into politics and you're a conservative in this day and age on the media side, it's tough, especially if you're in a state where they are not going to be fair. New York is not fair to conservatives. We already know that.
Absolutely not. If you live there and you own a business and you're a Republican, you probably want to leave if you haven't already, because they're not good to you there, and they're obvious about it.
I'm just great. He literally is a master player, and we've said this before. He doesn't play checkers. He plays chess.
Yeah, he sure does.
And those are the situations that we're trying to deal with. And those are the kind of stories that we're bringing to light. I don't think the man could be any better than what he is right now and what he has done. And I think he's starting to see light at the end of the tunnel.
I think so too. I'm so happy about that, because even if he goes to jail, it's a logistic nightmare and it will just make his numbers go up.
Rikers Island says they're ready for Donald Trump. Eric Adams, who Trump had his back just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Saying, listen, don't blame everything on Eric Adams. He has to answer to the witch, Catherine Hochul.
That's right. He defended him.
Something of that nature. But Eric Adams came out yesterday and said, Rikers Island has informed me that this is all a clown show again. That if Donald Trump, our former president, who's leading by a landslide in this presidential election, is put in jail, Rikers Island is ready.
Oh, I bet they are. They're just biting at the bit to have him. I'm sure.
And he still leads polling, and he will still be the guy that would win in any sort of a fair election.
And it's interesting because I don't know why a person that's left wing doesn't understand that doesn't hurt him. It helps it. It's like, it's better than campaigning. It's better than a rally. So I don't know. Yeah. I kind of want to, I don't really want him to go to jail. I really don't. But I think it would be really great to see him in a jail cell and watch everybody go nuts over it. And I mean,
they would love him.
They would.
9 out of 10 inmates would love Donald Trump.
That's exactly
and that
right.
doesn't say anything about Donald Trump in a negative way. It shows that he appeals to all.
To everyone.
And to all races.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, part of it, I hope he doesn't really be in there more than maybe an hour or two, but I'd kind of like to see that all play out.
Harry says, I worry about his safety. Well, Donald Trump spoke.
I do too.
Well, before going into court just a little bit ago, Donald Trump did have this to say, and we're waiting to see if anything he says today puts him in jail. Rikers Island is ready. The shit show continues.
That's right.
What Biden is doing with respect to Israel is disgraceful. If any Jewish person voted for Joe Biden, they should be ashamed of themselves. He's totally abandoned Israel, and nobody can believe it. I guess he feels good about it because he did it as a political decision. You have to do the right decision, not the political decision. But he did a very bad thing. I just want to let you know that we've just filed a major motion in the appellate division concerning the absolutely unconstitutional gag order, where I'm essentially not allowed to talk to you about anything meaningful that's going on in the case, and many good things are going on with the case. It shouldn't have been filed. They had this morning the top legal scholars in the country. This is a Frankenstein case. They took a dead misdemeanor, they attached it to a dead alleged federal felony and zapped it back into life. So many of us are just amazed to watch this actually walk into court, because it's not a recognizable crime that any of us have seen. It's Jonathan Turley. I've been doing this for 60 years and I don't understand what crime he's been charged with. Nobody understands this. I just don't get the crime. There's no evidence of any crime whatsoever. This is a sham. That's Alan Dershowitz. And these are people that they speak their minds. They're not for me, they're for justice. This is another one. This is without precedent in American history, only with the desperation of President Joe Biden and his fanatic left-wing enforcers did it become possible to think about arresting and jailing their major political opponent. This case must be taken out of Judge Merchan's hands because he's totally conflicted. Judge Merchan is totally conflicted, like probably no judge has ever been conflicted before. Here's another one, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. His prosecution of former President Donald Trump violates both the federal and state constitutions. This is a prosecutor making it up as he goes along. Due process worthy of the names does not tolerate that. So these are statements. This is Andrew McCarthy made that statement, highly respected. A judge is allowing wide scope of information that has absolutely nothing to do with the case. That's Rebecca Rosewood and Fox News. Today we have Rick Scott here, Senator Rick Scott. We have other politicians here. We have many people in support. The outside of this building is closed down like Fort Knox. Nobody's ever seen. We have so many police down here, New York's finest, and they are New York's finest. They're just told what to do, but they don't have them at Columbia. They don't have them at NYU or any other places. This is like an armed camp down here, and you have nothing to worry about. Believe me, your problem is from the left. It's not from the right. Big problem from the left. It's from within our country. That's a bigger, in my opinion, a bigger danger than China or Russia. You have it from the outside and you have it from within. From within is a bigger danger to our country, and it's from the left, not from the right. But Rick Scott's here, and he said you can't go after political persecutions. This is a shame. This should not be happening in our country. And Senator Ted Cruz put out a very strong statement about attacking Donald Trump and the American voter. It's an attack on both. This is purely and simply election interference. There is no case. So that's the way it is, but here we sit after 2.5 weeks, and I think you'll see some very revealing things today, and I want to thank my lawyers. They've done a very good job, but I'd rather thank them after it's over as opposed to now, because we don't want them to get carried away. There's no case. Should have never been brought. Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring it. Cy Vance didn't want to bring it, and he didn't. He left. He didn't bring it. Everybody's looked at it. Southern District didn't bring it. Federal elections didn't bring it. It's also a federal case, not a state case, which they're not allowed to do, but these are minor details. So I just want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you later in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump doing a brilliant,
That was great.
thing, and that is reading the comments of even Democrat attorneys like Alan Dershowitz.
Yes.
Once again, Alan Dershowitz is not a conservative, although with what's happening, he may be a conservative before it's all over.
I wonder
Reading
about that.
what everybody else is saying.
That's right. That's how he's getting around that. He read headlines the last time, and today he's reading little excerpts of what other people said. So what can they do? I don't think they can take any more.
His legal
Trump
team
change.
has been brilliant. They've been absolutely brilliant. Will Scharf, a part of that, running for Missouri Attorney General as well. Even though I still think they're going to find something to find him guilty with, unless there's a mistrial. They are destroying the left. They are destroying the deep state in the situation. Brilliant move by doing this. And it was brilliant to read headlines the other day as well.
Yes.
It really, I guarantee this keeps liberals up at night.
I'm sure it does.
It bugs them. They hate it so bad. I don't know if it's they hate this worse or the fact that more and more African Americans are loving Trump and voting for Trump than any have ever voted before. Glenn Thompson reminds us, yeah, Jonathan Turley, also a Democrat,
That's right.
a hardcore Democrat. That's what you do. You let the truth speak for itself
Yeah.
with what's happening as he heads into court for all of the theater. And yeah, from our comment line, is this theater? Of course it's theater.
Yes.
It's all theater. But Trump and his team are always one step ahead. And it's so fun to watch what they're doing to, and this is all great campaigning for Donald Trump. He's not able to get out to all these states and places anymore, but guess what he's doing? He's still moving the needle.
Yeah,
I mean, he is moving the needle, and it's good to get victories every now and then.
It is.
Because we saw Donald Trump having to go through all the bullshit with raids to charges being filed to you have to pay $465 million. Now the tide's been changing for the last month.
Yes.
He's come into a season of victory, a season of hope. Megan says it's pretty simple. Liberals are pretty miserable about everything in their life.
They really are. They are miserable. If you're a leftist liberal, you don't see many of them very happy. You don't. They're all doom and gloom.
No, you don't.
Mm-mm. I don't know any of them that are really a happy, positive person.
Well,
I said
I know some that's
a Democrat.
that are Democrats. I know Democrats who are happy.
I do too. But that's why I said a lefty liberal. If they're truly a progressive liberal, they're not happy at all. Now, if you're a Democrat who's the old school Democrat who really doesn't get political and doesn't really understand all that, there's plenty of happy of those. They're just oblivious to what the truth is. But they're not unhappy. But liberals, they're unhappy. They're miserable. They're probably out there protesting right now.
Yeah.
They're probably out there eating their soy and falling all out right now.
Yeah, probably. But here's something else that's happening. His numbers continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Glorious.
Here's a quick little video. These are numbers that we've been talking about, but look at some of these. These are issues that liberals are losing their mind over.
A poll this week shows Americans trust Mr. Trump over the president on the economy and inflation by double digits, while 2/3 of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck. A poll this week shows Americans
46% they trust Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To 32% for Biden.
I love it. And we're seeing it everywhere now. It's not even just seeing it on Fox
and guess
or
who?
OAN.
And that was NBC.
That's right.
I repeat, the National Beat Up Conservatives Network. That's what I call them. NBC.
That's right.
Donald Trump, 46 to 32%. They trust him over Biden.
That's glorious. Glorious.
That's why I'm like, damn, Lizzie, they can't run Biden even if they're cheating.
Well, I still think they're going to, but I could be wrong. I mean, you've been saying this whole time you think they're going to run somebody else.
We haven't heard that narrative in a long time.
We haven't. So I don't know who they would run. I mean, I really don't. Newsom,
I
Michael?
still stand by mine.
Who was yours?
Remind us.
Michelle.
Oh yeah. But we all said that in the beginning. I mean, not to discredit you, but yeah.
I know. I'm just saying.
She's the only one, or he.
Believe that that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that very well could happen because if
Michelle, I thought it was Michael.
Yeah, Michael, Michelle, same thing.
Yeah.
It is the same thing. So Michael, Michelle, that I'm with you on that, Joe. If they run somebody else, the only other person that they could absolutely control and possibly win is Michael Michelle, because Newsom, nobody likes him. They see what he did to California. But there's a lot of people. If you ever go, after you said that one time, Joe, I went on Michelle Obama's, social media. Oh my gosh, the dingbats love her. They absolutely love her. And I said dingbats, and I will go by that. I mean, the things that they were saying they loved about her, him, whatever, were no reason to love that for a leader. Maybe for a friend.
Gonna be a last minute thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Nothing surprises me anymore.
But it is interesting. I want to bring this up because this was a tweet that just came out a little bit ago. Jane Duker, she is a friend of the show, legal representation for St. Louis County, St. Louis City Police, lawyer, attorney, Democrat. But it is interesting because she's been calling out all the pro-Palestinian BS that's been going on. And she is not a fan of Donald Trump. But it's interesting to see what she wrote today. She had a tweet off of Jane said, quote, Hamas is not just going after Israel. They are now coming after American Western values.
Absolutely.
If they are permitted to survive because the U.S. refused Israeli military aid, which we'll get into in a little bit, make no mistake, they have planted their insurgents all over America. And she goes on. Well, then John Lamping chimed in and said, welcome to our side. You don't want to admit it, but it's where you are now, basically saying she's a conservative. Jane says, listen, I didn't move as a Democrat. Joe Biden did. I refuse to stand by and let my party be taken hostage over and driven by insurrectionists, anti-American socialists who also hate police and have a warped view of fairness. This is not who Democrats are or should be.
Well, they are now, though, Jane. They are. So, I mean, I know she doesn't like Donald Trump.
She's not voting for Joe Biden.
But then who does she vote for?
She votes for Donald Trump.
You think so?
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I would hope that she would. I understand where she's
And
fighting
there's
for
no
her
way
party.
she won't. And there's no way she won't vote.
Not if she loves police officers like she does.
Exactly.
I mean, she loves police officers. And so I don't know how you could vote for Joe Biden if you like law and order. And she's right. The old Democrats, the old blue dog Democrats, that's not what this party is anymore. Not at all.
Yes, that's Jane Duker, Dueker, if you're trying to find her on X. She does a lot. She does a lot there. But it is interesting when we talk about Trump and all that, because there was also a Quinnipiac poll that yesterday came out. And Quinnipiac has always been down the middle. I don't know if they're bought and paid for now, but for the first time in all of this polling, they came out and said in the state of Wisconsin that Joe Biden had a 6-point lead over Trump out of nowhere. And I'm like, what?
Right.
What? Out of nowhere. I know you have to take polls with a grain of salt, but all the polling on Donald Trump over the last year has been spot on. It's been very spot on. And we saw it with other situations as well. But that came out yesterday. Somebody wanted to say, well, I've seen polling all over the place. Really? Really? I'd like to see where that was going. Also, when it came to Donald Trump, a story that came out that was fascinating to me. If Trump, because he gives all these policies, he gives ideas, and this was according to Rolling Stone, Donald Trump is planning to covertly send special forces to Mexico to take out drug kingpins and cartels.
I saw that in several places.
That came out in the last few days.
Yeah. Yeah.
That he already has a plan to deal with the cartel.
I think that's great. And when you see that, the spin of it, if you are somebody that wants the border closed, you're loving that. If you're somebody that loves this border being open, they're having a meltdown about it. That he's racist again.
I know.
Because you want to get rid of cartels, you're racist.
Right. That doesn't make any sense. But the
that's
cartels have
crazy.
brown skin, Joe. So that's where they're coming from.
No, you think?
Yeah, some people do say that.
I'm sure there's some. I wouldn't.
I would hope.
I don't doubt it either.
Yeah, no, there's more people than you would think. It surprises me, but that is wonderful. That's exactly what we should be doing. You have to find out who's bringing this fentanyl in and go after them.
Well, the problem is now the cartels are here.
You're right, Joe. They're here. And hopefully he doesn't just look in Mexico. They're right within our country.
Yeah, but the headquarters are there.
That's true.
And that's become a more safe place to live than here. So
Did you just really say that?
I did, unfortunately.
I don't know that you're wrong. Maybe a couple months ago I disagree with you, but now it's like I used to feel like no matter what, I could call the police. And this is not bashing police. I am a huge police officer lover, but I could call the police and they would keep me safe. Now, I don't know that that's the case because they're so down in numbers and they don't have backing of prosecutors.
Well, not to get off subject, but a new poll shows that the highest total ever in St. Louis County, that they're finding that police are looking for other careers in St. Louis County.
Of course.
That was internal polling that was just done as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll wake you up, make you think about what's happening. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. She's Lizzie Sparks. Projo is our man behind the scenes. He jumps in every now and then. We're grateful for all the support that we have on the show. That includes Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley. Some of the best burgers, barbecue, wings you're going to find anywhere. Service, a big outdoor patio as well. It's in the Chesterfield Valley. Entertainment on the weekends as well. Just a great all-around place to go. Also, Winty's Roadhouse, which is opening up in Defiance. I was told that's in wine country in the Missouri area.
Absolutely.
I was told, by the way, friends and family,
Mm-hmm.
May 19th.
May 19th.
Yes, May 19th.
That's coming up.
Yeah, so
I love
that's
it.
a big deal as well. WeQuipUSA.com, WeQuipUSA.com. It's a site where you can go and look for items to rent that you may not want to buy that other people have, or you may have items that you want to put up for sale. And they also rent spaces. So once again, that is WeQuipUSA.com. And of course, David Gregory, when it comes to protecting you, if you've been in a car accident, any sort of car accident, or with a truck situation, trucking industry, or workers' comp, any conservative issue where you feel as if you have been wronged somehow, some way for your conservative beliefs, Dave is the man to go to. Gregory for Missouri.com, Gregory for Missouri.com. He also is licensed in 7 states around the country. You can give him a call, 314-619-4230, 314-619-4230. If you have been in an accident or if you know somebody, don't sign anywhere until you talk to Dave. You have to talk to Dave, but you have to tell him that you're from Cancel This, or that you heard about him from Cancel This, because you'll get your rates reduced, and it also helps us here. Once again, 314-619-4230. Give Dave a call. This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Check it on the sites that we're at: Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, CloudHub, and X. Make comments, jump in, let us know what you're thinking. If there's stories that we're missing or things that we need to talk about, let us know. We'll certainly get to that and do everything we possibly can. When we talk about the issues that Joe Biden has, no policy, no issues that are really working for him, nothing, lying about inflation. Donald Trump, despite being treated the way he is, continues to rise in the polls. And then now we see Joe Biden turning his back on Israel. So over the last few days, this has been coming out. Joe Biden and the White House pretty much made it official yesterday. There will be no aid. There will be no weapons sent to Israel if they try to take the very populated city of Rafah.
And they're not even giving the weapons. Isn't Israel having to buy them from us? That's what I understand.
Yeah, but we're not allowing it
Correct.
to happen.
Yes. I mean, that's just so bizarre. We just give and leave our weapons all over the Middle East, and then we just give them to Ukraine, but our ally buys them, and now they're putting a halt on.
Well, we already know that Joe Biden is not intelligent enough to differentiate between people, between races. He just isn't. And we know he's only a figurehead. Other people are running the show because he's not intelligent enough to be in charge of anything.
Right.
He's not even intelligent enough to be in charge of one thing, much less 3. But when he gets called out, yes, it doesn't mean he's involved in anything. It means he's the figurehead over all of the corruption that's going on in all of these areas. You'll hear Democrats say really stupid shit like, oh, well, you say he's dumb, but then how could he be in charge of all 3 things? Or yeah, he's not. It's because you're an idiot and you're lying to people who are out in the public. But there's Democrats. I mean, there's Democrats all over Congress now that are being like, what? Are you kidding me? You're not going to support Israel? I mean, you've got, Fetterman's called him out. Richie Torres has called him out. He is literally denying the shipment of weapons to Israel. He's like, you sit back. We don't want you to go take over Rafah, even though this is part of Israel going and stopping the terrorist groups, Hezbollah and Hamas, who caused October 7th. And he's under a barrage of attacks now from Republicans and Democrats. Even Richie Torres in New York called him out, saying he's under attack from the far, far left, from far, far progressives. He doesn't know where to go, what to do. Obama's like, okay, we're going to take care of it, because we know Biden's not making the decisions.
No.
So the deep state is like, okay, we got to go against Israel now. We got to make sure we're doing what we do. We're not going to let you have the weapons. this is this is embarrassing
Really.
as an American to see what we're doing to Israel right now. You can decide wherever you want to side, but if these terrorists, these devils, these cowards, these cockroaches who hide their faces, and that's what the pro-Palestinians, Hezbollah, Hamas are,
100%.
they're all cowards.
They are cowards.
Hide your face. Allah, praise Allah, and all this other stuff.
That's so ridiculous.
But you don't live a peaceful spiritual life.
No.
It's all about tyranny and anger and murder and torture and horrible things that you did on October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And then now that's what Biden is going to support. And then they hide civilians. They're even admitting that they're putting guards up. I have heard pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah say, yeah, we do it. But guess what? You still shouldn't come and fight. You're going to kill kids.
Right.
You're going to kill innocents. It's part of war. Sorry, we win. Literally.
Yeah, but they're allowed to say that. It's the Jewish people are not allowed to say that.
Exactly.
It's so obvious what's going on that I say it so often, and I want to keep saying it. They don't like us here. They hate us. They are born and raised to hate the infidels. Jewish people and most Americans are infidels to them. So they're not here to come over here and be peaceful with us. And we've talked about this to a nauseum, all of the things going on the college campuses. Most of the more than half of them are these hateful people coming here on the campus, and they're 40 years old or so, and riling up these dumb college students. And I'm saying dumb because if you have any intelligence at all, you wouldn't be doing it.
Well, you're dumb for many reasons. It doesn't mean it. Uneducated is a word I've used in the past.
Yes. Uninformed. They might be educated in the ways of their college campus, but they're uninformed on reality and history.
Well, of course they are. Of course they are.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things continue to happen. I don't know.
It just makes you wonder. I mean, when we grew up, and I know I'm old, but it's like we were taught about the Holocaust, and don't ever let that happen again. And it's happening again. And it's happening in a different way. And they've led all the way up this with all of the Soros-funded protests to make it normal to hate someone. And now their person of choice is Jewish people.
Well, we do know this. Things are not getting any better. And we'll see. Israel says they're going to continue on.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're going to do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And where will America be with this whole situation? How bad will it get? It also ends any peaceful talks, or it ends talks for hostages.
That's right.
Think about that. I mean, it's like, oh, well, we can't do this or we can't do that. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just, and we've given Israel the runaround from the get-go. And we know it's not Biden because he's not intelligent enough to handle. I mean, he can't even read a damn prompter. He can't give a speech. We show you the video literally almost every day. It's as bad as it gets. I just get frustrated when I hear and see the things that are happening. And of course, we talk about all the crap that they're trying to put Donald Trump through. And then Israel does what they do. Gary says Israel needs to buy their stuff elsewhere.
They do. They do.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't have to.
They should not have to.
They are our friend. It's been
Yes.
our biggest ally.
Absolutely.
And I don't care. And you're going to have issues here and there and things that happen.
Correct.
Paul says, why is it that former administration under Obama, John Kerry, and currently continue to lift up and support all these organizations and countries that want to end America, including them?
Yeah, to the normal person, that makes zero sense. They're only doing, the only logical reason why they're doing that is they know that keeps them in control. They're part of the uniparty, and it's all about money. It's all money. These people get money by doing this.
They do. Jeannie reminds everybody Israel said they are doing it with or without the United
Yes.
States. Correct. They are. And you know what? They should.
They should. Yes, we need to mind our own backyard. But if we're going to help anyone,
America first.
America first.
America is building aid platforms for Gaza. Does this include illegal arms? Probably, knowing this corrupt administration.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. It's the people that in our government right
Does it
now.
resonate with people? That's what I'm curious. Does it
Yeah.
resonate?
Well, it resonates with people who are politically informed, but I still see daily people going about their lives that will come up to me knowing that we have the podcast and go, okay, so what is really going on? Like they don't even know. Because if you don't turn on podcasts to tell the truth and you just turn on the nightly news, they're not talking about this. They're not giving you the truth. So the average American they're busy. They're raising their kids or their grandkids and going to work full time and they're doing laundry. They don't understand what's going on. And it surprises me. It never ceases to surprise me how many people don't have a clue as to what's going on. I try not to go, what? You don't even know? Come on. But the best thing you can do is be nice to them, inform them in a nice, as you say, Vic, in a persistent, patient manner to try to tell them the truth because so many people still don't know.
Well, the reason I think too is his credibility has been shaken in the Muslim vote in America. And they were trying to play both sides of this, and it wasn't working.
Correct.
With Palestinians or the Muslim community. So they put so much emphasis on it, gone out and did everything that they've done. They turned anti-Semitism, or they've gone after everything from the Jewish community. And then they started calling them names. CNN in that interview, which ripped Joe from line when he said there was 9% inflation when he began office, and it was only 1.4. But he's also got a nickname now called Genocide Joe. And they're trying to get rid of that image going into the election. Here's how that went down. And here's what he had to say about that whole situation.
It breaks anyone's heart to look at it. And obviously, we've seen that frustration here in the U.S. on college campuses. And Mr. President, had signs at college campuses. Some say Genocide Joe. Any of us that have gone to those campuses, sometimes we hear that chant. Do you hear the message of those young Americans?
Absolutely, I hear the message. Look, two things. First of all, there's a legitimate right to free speech and protest. There's a legitimate right to do that, and they have a right to do that. There's not a legitimate right to use hate speech. There's not a legitimate right to threaten Jewish students. There's not a legitimate right to block people access to class. That's against the law. That's against the law. And so, and if you look at the data, these demonstrations are real, but they're not nearly, I mean, look, and I made a speech on the Holocaust the other day. And I pointed out that, you know, it took 7 decades to get to the place where after the Holocaust occurred, and there's still anti-Semitism. Look what's happened. In 7 weeks, 70, I mean, what's happening? Everybody's sort of forgotten about what happened in Israel. Those 1,200 young kids murdered. I saw pictures, I went over there shortly after. A mother and a daughter being roped together and then kerosene poured and burned to death. Nothing's like that happened in the Jewish community since the Holocaust.
Okay, so then why are you doing what you're doing, or why are your leaders and handlers having you do what you're doing? It doesn't make sense, Joe.
No.
None of it does. And of course, he had all the questions before the interview took place, so he had a scripted answer. But why? It doesn't, and then he's not going to help Israel. Once again, one thing out the left, another thing out the right. We'll say this, we'll say that. We'll make sure that we'll do whatever we need to do. But Jeannie says she understands. The reason he looked so uncomfortable is he was pooping again.
Yeah.
He has now lost all control of bodily function. It's sad. I felt bad for Burnett, Aaron Burnett, who was having to sit there with that.
Yeah, it probably stunk in there.
Did you notice that he had a real problem saying the word legitimate? He stuttered every time, every time.
Mumbling.
Yes.
They can't give him the drugs every day. It'll kill him. He'll be dead.
Yeah.
Dead. And if they want him dead, they don't want him dead yet.
Right.
Because there's still much too time to vet Michael Michelle or anybody else that was going to come into play.
That's right. That's right. They don't want him dead yet. They absolutely don't. And I think a lot of people are like, well, then Cammie's next and they can control her, but they can't control her. I think she'll do whatever they want, but her mouth gets her in so much trouble. And she says such even weirder things than Joe Biden. And she doesn't have dementia. So, I mean, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place for sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mhm.
I think they are. And because of those things that are happening, you know, we continue to talk about this. I'll bring this up really quick, but we got to get to, I want to make sure we give enough time to Chris Cuomo, who I'd still like to get him in a ring and beat his ass
I would
from
too.
corner to corner.
I would too.
in the name of charity.
Mhm. Mhm.
Connie says, "Good job, Pro Joe. You spoke and we saw you."
That's right. Good job, Pro Joe.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. But as we need to be taking care of issues around the country, and Donald Trump is doing an amazing job doing everything that he is, fighting lies in court and putting together policy for when he does become president. He's putting the policy forward.
Mhm.
It's all out there. I mean, we don't know where Joe Biden stands. He's a flip-flopper, doesn't know, wishy-washy, trying to just get through a sentence.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring this out, but it did come down last night too. That Greg Jarrett, the legal analyst from Fox News, was saying it's a serious, serious thing where the classified documents case that's been put on hold that we've been talking about
Mhm.
could literally be dropped now. There's that, because there's been so much tampering and so much illegal activity from Jack Smith,
Mhm.
the lead prosecutor who was brought in to destroy Trump, that is gaining a lot of steam behind closed doors of it being dropped. That's why Judge Cannon did what she did, where this trial wouldn't even start until after election, where this could just kind of go away quietly. So do not be surprised if you don't hear anything about this going to trial until after an election, and then it just gets dropped because of the lies, the cheating, the scandal, the scam that is Jack Smith and the deep state trying to destroy Donald Trump. I mean, holy crap. This is Cancel This. We talk a lot of politics, and I just, because we get talking and you guys jump in,
Mhm.
I just want to get into a couple things here. AstraZeneca, by the way, has pulled their cupcakes because of blood clots, deaths, heart disease, completely pulled it. National media will not tell you. This show became very popular in the midst of everything that was going down. Our start in radio, which continued to branch off and do all sorts of things. Then we find out now that a man who ripped people for taking chivermectin
Mhm.
and rode around town without his mask was eventually fired for lying for his brother, but somehow News Nation gave him a job, has now come out and said that he uses chivermectin, or used it every day. We want to take you back to when he made fun of people and made fun of chivermectin
Mhm.
when he and his boyfriend, Don Lemon, used to talk. And by the way, like two lovebirds, when they fight,
Mhm.
they hate each other now. By the way, these two hate each other.
They do.
And they ripped each other when they were no longer together. And Don Lemon ripped him when he got fired or let go. Then Cuomo ripped him when he got fired.
Mhm.
So it just goes to show that these Democrats, who do keep a good face most of the time, but when it all falls apart, it all falls apart.
And for context, he was taking ivermectin. Chivermectin.
Yes.
When he was making these statements.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
He refuses to apologize for shaming people, but all during this time he was shaming everyone. He was taking it daily.
So this, and Joe brings
Liar.
you that good context. Here he is.
People who are injecting drugs for animals and horse.
And people telling them to. Oh my God. What person? You know, you talk about cancel culture and who to shame. Ivermectin, a dewormer, really?
They are shaming themselves. No one has to shame them. They're shaming themselves.
No, they need to
by
be shamed.
doing that. Yeah.
They need to be called out and shamed, brother.
People who are getting.
I'll shame his ass in a
That's
ring
right.
for
They need to be
charity
called
any
out,
day of the week. Where are you, Cuomo?
Mhm.
liar. I mean, okay, here's the problem. That man looked you in. I mean, he did it day after day.
Day
and you know
after
who you, and you
day.
know who
So
you
did his
are.
brother.
And now, and we did a story on chivermectin a few weeks ago, how now it's being considered to be a miracle drug.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jeannie says that's a piece of shit. He is.
He really is.
Unprovoked, going out, trying to start stuff with anybody and everybody he possibly can.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, and you can go to a podcast where he says that it's the PBD. It's hosted by Patrick Bet David, and during this episode, Cuomo, I can't even hardly say his name because he's such a nasty, hypocritical liar. He confronts his past criticisms of vaccine, cupcake skeptics as he now embraces a treatment he once scorned. But what he doesn't tell you is that he lied and was taking it because he knew it was good. He knew it. And that goes to like his brother. His brother was shaming people, and Donald Trump brought in it. If this didn't wake you up back in that time, Donald Trump made an entire ship for people who had it to help you, and they didn't use it because they knew how to be well. They knew it the whole time. That's the lowest of the low.
Todd says my chiropractor was sued $500 million by our government. Yeah, he is my chiropractor as well. His name is Dr. Eric Naputi. He ended up winning that case. He didn't win because he lost a lot of money, but he won because he
was right.
He went toe to toe with the government. And instead of accepting money, what he did was he said, I'll walk away and not take anything, but I will not stop talking about what happened.
Correct. That's how he won.
Jeannie says, never forget who bashed people during COVID.
That's
never.
right. Never. I mean, and look at
unless they come back and apologize.
Correct.
Because I mean, listen, we all make mistakes in life.
Because they were scared.
There's something, but it's a pride issue, and then it becomes just an asshole issue.
That's right. That's right.
Where you need to, if I just getting into all of these things, man. It just takes
you have to bring it up. I know my daughter got married during that time, and she also had heart surgery during that period of time. And people were shaming us because we still were not maskers. And I sat my kids down during that period of time, and I said, "We are Sparks. I do not want to see you," because the wedding venue wanted them to have masks on. I said, "No. We are not going to wear masks while you are getting married. And for the rest of your life, you look like you're a damn fool. We know what they're doing and they're lying. We know it. We know it. And if any of you had the C during that period of time and took ivermectin, you know it helped. You absolutely know it helped. And you took that combined with the hydro, well, I'm not going to say the rest of the word, you were fine. You were fine. I mean, and they knew it. That's the thing, is they knew it. They knew it the whole time, and they let millions of people not only get hurt when they didn't need to be hurt, they took things that hurt them. And you know what? Look around people that took this, that are now having weird health issues that they didn't have prior to jabbing that in their arm. It just fires me up. It makes me so mad.
And we've talked on and off about this in the past, but it has to remind you where you can't trust the government.
You can't. You can't.
Okay. So why are we talking about it again? Well, because somebody ripped you and ripped us, and we promoted chivermectin on a radio show. We promoted it here. I used it and was happy to use it. And amongst other things as well at the same point in time. But then you have somebody admitting. That's why you can't trust any of these national talking heads.
That's right.
Chris says, I'm sorry, no forgiveness.
It's real
if they
hard.
act that way once during a moment of fear, they'll do it every time.
You can't trust
I
them
believe
anymore.
more times than not, you're right. But I do believe in people being able to change who they are if they have a sense of humility, any kind.
Correct.
Because it's very difficult for people to admit they're wrong. I've seen that in my life. You know what? I can't tell you how many times people refuse to say they're sorry. I mean, refuse to.
Yeah.
They'll screw up, admit that, but they won't say they're sorry. So, but then that's why I give credit, because I do know some people who can apologize and say, listen, I was wrong.
But I agree that you can forgive them if they are sincerely humble about it. But in a battle, of any sort of a battle, you know who they are. And what I mean by that is if something really rough comes on us again, and it probably will, that's not the person I'm going to call to fight on the front lines of an issue. And I'm not even talking about military. I'm just talking about the whole pandemic before. That is not the person I'm going to call as the spokesperson that can confront fear. They didn't put their faith over their fear. They let their fear run rampant. And there was a lot of times I know myself was alone ranger, so to speak, and fighting this for my children and fighting against some of my older children who were scared and were listening. And I'm like, you come into my house, you're welcome anytime here. I'm not afraid of you having something. Give me a hug, but take that mask off in my house. We don't wear masks here.
Well, mask, no mask.
If you're wearing a
Cupcakes,
mask
no
because you
cupcakes.
believe it, I'm not shaming mask people. If you truly believe that it helped you because you had cancer, or because you were fearful and you had it, fine, you do you. But don't tell me that I have to have it and that it works.
Well, I mean, once again, I agree with Pam. Doctors' offices have lost a lot of patients.
They have.
Because of trust.
That's right.
And here's the thing, and I'm not trying to rip doctors. I don't blame you for not trusting doctors who have been raised in the old way of doctor teaching, which is why the medical boards will never accept new doctors who are trying to take care of issues
Correct.
from a natural standpoint, natural remedies.
That's right.
Maybe the way God intended it.
Maybe. Yeah.
And when you dare say that, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist now. There's a place for all of them. I'm just saying, be careful with the pharma, be careful with the drugs, be careful with all of that, because those issues, as you have seen, reared their ugly head when it came to COVID, when it came to the pandemic, when it came to everything that was going on. And now, national news stating just a few weeks ago, basically calling ivermectin a wonder drug.
Yeah.
A wonder drug.
A wonder drug.
And now Chris Cuomo admit how he has I lied to you.
Yeah, I lied to you.
I lied to you. I was taking it the whole time.
Yeah. I was taking it the whole time. Let that sink in.
I am an elite person because I am a liberal Democrat. Now he may be changing to become, he said some things in recent times where it made him sound like he's a Republican.
I don't let him fool you.
I know. I know.
He is an evil, evil man that looked right in that camera while he's taking the very thing that he made fun of other people.
Gary says he's learned to forgive people.
You have to forgive people.
And even if it's and even if it's just for yourself.
Correct. I think through all this, there's a lot of people that did shame me during that period of time. And they've since, they don't even have to, really, people don't even have to tell me that they're sorry. I would rather just see changed behavior and be nice. But I still will say that they're not your front line person unless they've now become a warrior. Some people, and this is not me making fun of people, people are wired different. Some people are frontline people. Some people are caretakers. Some people are more scared, but they have other ways of that God gave them as their spiritual gift. You just know you don't put them on the front line. I mean, that's of defense.
Todd says, I still think Cuomo speaks more truth than Jesse Waters. That's an interesting comment.
That is interesting. I wonder, that's interesting because there's a lot of people that don't like Jesse Waters. I watch Jesse Waters from time to time, but what I've noticed about Jesse Waters is he's about a week behind the news. So if you're somebody,
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
He's fine to me, but his presentation is just.
I think he's just fine because when you listen
they're
to
behind us.
They're way behind. I will turn it on and I'm like,
sorry,
wait a minute. Vic
Fox News is behind. Cancel this.
I'll be like, they said
we do more homework than the rest of the people do.
That's where Jesse Waters has no validity to me. He's behind.
Call me naive or wanting to believe in the good in people. I want to think that Cuomo was thinking he's just following orders on talking against this stuff.
Well, of course,
didn't realize
because he's worried about keeping his job.
Well, he didn't.
Just like I was told at Fox 2, Vic, pipe down.
And I think that at the time, nobody really thought that the cupcake was going to cause that much damage on people.
Yeah, we did.
I think I did.
Joe, you just weren't running in the right circles.
They knew what the hell they were doing.
Joe, we were calling it out from the get-go because here's the thing. What we called out it was December of 2021, and then it moved all the way through March and April. You literally had Pfizer's CEO saying this is not going to make a difference. It will not work. It is only emergency use.
Yep.
And we were calling it out, telling people we were ahead of it. So that's why we did what we could. We literally had a heart surgeon, Joe, on from Oklahoma City, one of the most respected cardiologists in America, come on and tell us my kids got it without me knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I do not do this. Do not, literally,
Yes.
we were telling people, do not do it. He was saying it doesn't add up. It's not safe.
That's right.
And that's where we went with that. So it all depends. That's why we say, listen to Cancel This. We're trying to get out ahead of things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If we're wrong, we'll tell you. But we're going to bring out every information piece we possibly can. Donna says, I have 2 friends that love Jesse Waters. Won't even take a call while he's on. Yeah, it is for who they are.
Yeah, and it's fine that you watch him. I mean, it's fine. It's just that you guys that listen to Cancel This, if you now go to Jesse Waters, he's a week behind. At the very least, he's a week behind. And I do think some of his,
and Todd,
man
yes,
on the
I would
street is
destroy.
funny.
Todd, I would destroy Chris Cuomo in a ring.
You absolutely would.
I'm just telling you. I
have
offered
no
to do it for
respect
charity.
for that man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Abe says, right on, Vic. We refused it because we already had the sickness. That's right. It's called natural immunity.
Amen, brother.
But mainstream
Amen.
media said to get it anyways made no sense.
Made no sense.
Pfizer was court ordered to release their data starting in January 2022. All the information on the cupcake is out there, and it's very alarming. I broke down a report from a doctor as well on this very show talking about how this had been in labs for many years as well. So we just take that for what it is as well. Terry, they can come up with a fast cupcake for COVID, but nothing for cancer.
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
That is so good, Terry, that you said that. That is common sense. That deserved a ding, 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 because he literally, if you have brains that you didn't live through your fear, you don't take something that they have no idea what it's going to do to you. But yet, if they can come up with it that fast, then why isn't there a cure for cancer? Number one, my opinion, there is a cure of cancer, but there's too much money involved. They're happy to let people go through radiation and all of that and die for money. So well said, Terry.
You do your own investigations and you try to be as adequate in that and doing it as you can. Chris says, remember Jimmy Kimmel saying we should be withheld medical care if we didn't get it? Call me a small person, but I'll give them no pass or forgiveness.
Yes.
You guys are winning me over. I'm sorry. I've always tried to be a person of forgiveness. I am. Yeah. I want it from people and I give it to others. I do. And I'm not just saying that, but I get it. But if you know, and you're intentionally lying like Chris Cuomo, and then you're kind of bragging about it, hell no. Hell to the F and no. But if you were just dumb, uneducated, just believe mainstream media, and now you're like, wait a minute, I see it, then yeah, I think you should forgive.
Yeah.
If somebody's really trying to, but let's be real. People that may have done things or said things to you aren't coming to you and apologizing.
Correct.
I mean, it's
correct.
Hey, you know what? That thing, it's kind of like Billy Madison when he calls up the guy and he's like, hey, I'm really sorry for all those bad things I did to you. And then, of course, he marks him off
on his list,
on a live list.
That's right. That's
there aren't too many Billy Madisons out there going, hey, remember in 2022 when I ripped you for doing this? I was wrong. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just not happening. It'd be nice if it did. Tony says, I'm not COVID flu cupcaked either. All 9 of my doctors said no. Type 1 diabetic and blind in my left eye.
Yeah. You just have to watch what you're putting in your body. If like the flu shot, that really never made sense to me either. You take it, and I was one of those ones years ago, took the flu shot. We're going back 20 some odd years, ran a childcare center, was pressured. At that point, I was only in my 20s. So I understand being pressured. So I took it, had my staff take it, all but one, and we all got the flu. And I'd never had it before, and I've never had it since. So, and I really didn't want it then either. They made it sound like I had to have it. It was against the law. And being young, I didn't understand that it wasn't. I was never so sick in my life than when after I took that in my arm. So nobody was going to convince me to take any of that ever again.
Karen says, I'll never forgive a certain person who took me down for not getting the shot. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And that's a good point. People were took down when they didn't take it. They lost their jobs. They were maybe shunned from their community. So being taken down has so many implications on what they did. And then they're wrong. They were dead wrong. And they all thought they were so virtuous that they were going to save grandma that they did the wrong thing.
Yeah, I was shamed.
I'm sure you were.
Because I didn't get it, and everybody in my family did. So.
Yeah. That's a shame. That's a shame. And you have to look at these people now and almost pity them because they know they were wrong. They absolutely knew they were wrong. And I'm not sitting there like, oh my gosh, see, I was right. I don't want to be right about something like that. But the health of my children is really where I rose up loudly. Don't make my kids take something that you've not tested long enough. Heck, I didn't even have my kids take the chickenpox vaccine when it first came out because I didn't know enough about what you were putting in my kid's body. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm truly not. There are some things I'm thrilled when my kids get polio because my grandfather had polio and walked with a limp and it stunted his growth. But there's a difference between a shot and a vaccine. There just is.
The problem is they're changing all these vaccines over, even vaccines for pets
now.
to mRNA technology.
You're right.
And so you got to be careful. If you go get a vaccine now, you have to ask for non-mRNA.
Thank you for that reminder. That's even in your own pets. I don't get ever since you said that, Joe, I just got the vaccines for my dogs because sometimes they'll go to a kennel and now I won't even do that. I won't get Bordetella. I won't get any of it. I will get one thing.
And yes, the vaccines are unaliving pets as well.
They are unaliving. Look at how the length of some of the pets are not living as long that have been so overly vaccinated. So the only thing that I will even get my pets now is the rabies. But I asked that question now, Joe, that you've asked that because there's 2 different kinds of rabies shots. I did not know that till you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Terry says exactly, Joe. And why?
I guess they want us miserable. I don't know. That's a good question.
Why else would they want that? The same thing Bindy's asking about Gardasil. I did not get that for my daughters because the only way you can get that cancer is from unprotected sex. So you're better off talking to your kids about that than giving them something in their body that now has been proven to cause cancer. If I was advising any of you, don't put that in your daughters. Don't do it. Advise them about not having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Let's try doing that. And I told that to my kids. I said, if I give you the Gardasil and then I give
or
you
Harry,
cancer,
Dick, Tom.
Yeah, or Harry, Dick, Tom. That's right. It's like, I told that to my daughters. I'm like, you can avoid that form of cancer. But if I give you that shot, I give you cancer possibly. So you just have to speak frank to your kids and say, make the guy keep it in your pants if you don't know if he's got that stuff. Too many parents don't say that. I embarrass my kids sometimes, and I would be like, be careful where you stick it.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Well, it's the truth. I'm talking about the actual shot. I'm saying, be careful where you stick it. And if your brain went somewhere else,
I know.
so be it.
You always do that to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, I was just talking about the thing in your arm. You guys went somewhere else with that.
You were talking about a thing in their pants.
Well, but I switched.
You're talking about things everywhere. What are you talking about?
Well, okay. Tanya's saying that she agrees with me, just like AIDS in the 80s. I was like, come on now. People are saying it came from a monkey and it came from this and it came from that. All of it didn't add up to me, but I did know you could have avoided having AIDS if you had not been promiscuous. Sorry, I'm just saying that. And I'm not saying that you fell in love with somebody who had it and you didn't know. I'm not talking about that. But there's a lot of people that get these things because they'll sleep with anybody. Stop doing that. Stop it. And stop just taking stuff in your arm.
I agree with you.
Okay. So there you go. Like Abe's saying, have some balls and talk to your kids. Tell them the truth. A lot of parents are afraid to sit down, and it's uncomfortable to say to your kids those things. But yeah, you don't look at everybody's balls. Do the right thing and have some balls. So there you go. That is Lizzie discussion with your children 101. All right. Okay.
On a lighter note, Todd says Parkway North High School in the St. Louis metropolitan area was TP'd today.
I love it. Thank you, Todd. I don't
see homes TP'd anymore.
You know why? Because everybody has cameras.
Ring camera.
And I hate that.
Yeah, but
because
even that's the case, you go dressed up and they can't see
I agree.
you.
But then they come out because the Ring cameras sometimes alert people.
Oh, they do. No,
They-
if you have them
yeah,
on, they'll
you
ding,
do.
they'll ding you and light you up
Yeah.
all day long.
I don't know if you know about this, Vic, but when I had my oldest 2 children and they didn't have Ring cameras, I was the mom that all the kids came to with the minivan and was stocked chock with toilet paper and went with them to TP.
I think it all started off our conversation today
Yeah,
with COVID. We learned to appreciate TP more.
there you go.
That became a massive commodity.
Yeah, it did. Toilet paper is a wonderful thing, especially when it ends up on a school parkway, like Todd said.
Yeah.
TPing is fun.
Chris says from
Live
the
a
chat
little.
line, the doctor was constantly pushing for us to give our daughter the HPV shot. And lo
Yes,
and behold,
mine too.
all the data coming out showed all the disastrous side effects. Also
That's
notice
right.
they're now saying that you can take it up to age 45 when it only used to be for 18.
That's right. Stop. Don't take it. Do not take that. You can avoid that cancer.
Man,
Think about all the things you can do to avoid getting these things. And one of them is stop taking these things that they shoot that disease or that over in your arm.
Yeah, that's
Just fight it
it's-
off yourself.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. As
Fight
bad
it
as
off
gets.
yourself.
By the way, another media event. We talked about Donald Trump. They've got Stormy Daniels back on the stand. Allegedly, Trump's attorney is hammering her. She's a female, anyway, making this a very bad, uncomfortable day for Stormy.
I
Day
love
2,
it.
exposing a pattern of using this story to capitalize financially as much as possible, not being truthful. Of course, she was on reality TV, did a strip club tour using a play on Trump's campaign slogan. Oh, yeah. Did interviews for profit, wrote a book for profit. Her associates are all saying now in written testimony that she was looking to gain financially from Trump. Trump's team is showing the jury that Stormy Daniels is not a trusted witness and was only looking to extort him. But will they be able to sway a far left progressive jury in Manhattan? No, they won't be able to. No, of course not. This is what we've been talking about from the get-go.
Yeah.
But at least people with half a brain who keep an open mind and really want truth know that this is all planned by the deep state, which does exist and represents the party of the left.
That's right.
Have fun, do your best, enjoy.
Mhm.
Never got the shot. Sweden found out that and started warning people about the metal
That's right.
in
Sure
all
did.
of that.
Mhm.
It happened. It's going to happen, and it continues to happen. Once again, it was all the talk because Chris Cuomo admitted that he'd been taking chivermectin.
Mhm.
That actually starts with an I.
That's right.
We've had issues with one of our platforms for just even saying the word.
The word. Yes.
Yeah, just even saying the
I've
word,
been saying the word.
which goes to show some of the things that happen. Glenn says, I didn't watch 1 minute of depth, but I wish I was watching this trial televised. It's because it tries to keep your mind off everything.
That's right.
100%, Glenn. That's why.
That's right.
I mean, it's sad but true. And we continue to bring everything we possibly can. A couple more videos today I want to get before we got out later today. Lizzie found this video. You know what? If dumbasses are going to try to stand in the way of things, you just go right through them, right?
You just go right there.
Case in point, your artwork.
That's right. Here's
What
some art.
what was this about?
So this was a student that was refusing to get out of the way. Somebody was coming to paint some of the graffiti and some of the dirt and some of the things that these protesters were doing. So I just love this so much that actually go ahead and play it and then we'll talk about it. This is really interesting. I thought it was good. The graffiti that the pro-Palestinians did. And look at this. So he just decides he's going to paint right over him. This is great. Made my heart really happy. And the dumbass stands there.
Thank you.
Well, he's got a mask over his face.
You dummies. No, not the Eunice. Not the Eunice.
I mean, the parents of those kids have got to be so proud. They won't get out of the way.
Where is this video from? Do we know?
I did know. Let me check and see. But they're just standing there.
Not the people.
Case Western Reserve University.
What is it called, Joe?
Case Western Reserve University.
Okay, I don't even know where that's at. Case Western.
Read that sign for me, brother.
It says pro-Palestinian protesters were spray painted by a contractor at Case Western Reserve University in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, early Tuesday morning as they stood on the campus spirit wall that had been hijacked by Hamas supporters who had painted it over with anti-Israel messages. And the protesters, who wore clear plastic face shields, stood directly in front of the wall in an effort to prevent the contractors from doing their job. I mean, wow, but it didn't stop them. I guess these contractors had had enough, so they just sprayed right on over them.
I would have stood with that paintbrush just right on their head, to the
Yes.
side, on their hair.
Yeah.
Just continued to do whatever to bring 5 paintbrushes in.
Yes, I commend that
Yeah.
contractor. Commend him. That was
Well, I
great.
can't. Maybe they just. I don't know. Are they? I wish I could tell. I mean, are they Middle Eastern? I don't know. This is the best video of the day, though.
Yeah, it is. When you look at it, it's hard to tell whether they are. They look like they have a little bit brown skin, but I can't guarantee that. I don't really know. There's as many.
They should have used a stronger industrial. I agree.
I agree. Much stronger. Much stronger.
Once again, all they had to do was drop a can of tear gas,
That's right.
and those cowards would have been
Mhm.
running for the hills,
That's
because that's what these protesters are.
Mhm.
Cowards. They're
Cowards.
weak-minded, weak-bodied, coward people. They have no sense of anything. They have no desire to have any sort of a relationship with God. Many or most are agnostic or atheist. When
Yes.
they all are. They hate life. They hate themselves,
That's
and they
right.
need a cause to feel good about themselves.
They have no creator. They don't believe in a creator.
Oil-based paint. I agree.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
Give them something to think about for a while.
Absolutely.
So they'll never forget. Jeannie actually calls these protesters sissies.
They are sissies. That's the best word. They
Sissies.
are sissies. They are.
I'm being too nice and calling them cowards, I guess.
I think they are. Well, they're cowards and sissies both.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Just continue to do it. Push it over them over and over and over
Mhm.
again. Make sure that they know that, hey, then roll them in a poster.
Roll them in a poster. That would be great. That would be great. And I really would like to talk to the parents of these kids. If they are,
You always want to go down and break. They're not. Yeah, I know.
I do. I want to talk to the parents and say, are you proud of your
They
kid?
wouldn't listen to you.
No, they wouldn't listen to me, but are they really deep down proud? I think if they're lefties, they are deep down proud.
Power washers, baby.
I know. Wouldn't that be great? To have a
Those
power
sissies in Cleveland, Ohio, would not be a power washer.
washer? That would hurt.
Hell yes, that would destroy that little that plastic mass on their
Oh,
face.
yeah, that's great. I have a power washer.
Oh, you're gonna be tough. You're gonna be little Billy badass. You're gonna stand in front of the paint.
I know. That would be great. Tear gas and that at the same time would be really
And
fun.
Jewish people should be allowed to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
That have
I
a
agree.
desire.
Mhm. I think there's a lot of Jewish people that would have a desire to do it now. They might not have a couple days ago.
Once
but I think they're
again,
fed
you
up.
don't see this crap happening in Russia. You don't see this crap happening in India. You don't see this crap happening in China, because you go out and you try to be an idiot.
Ah,
Yeah, your ass will be put real quick in its place.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Power washer ripped the skin right off of my toe.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Yo,
It
do you want to
hurts.
do it? Rip the skin right off their damn faces. We'll find out how much you hate Jews then.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna rip your face off with a.
Oh my
power
God.
washer.
Chris says, I've got a. Oh my God, that scared the hell out of me. I got a 2,500 horsepower washer they could have used.
Oh, that would have been great, Chris. I'd like to see you doing it.
Yeah, just move over a bit, please.
Yeah, just move over. And then look at that one that putting her hands up.
Sorry,
she,
just
whatever.
so stupid.
It really is. This
Bought
is what
and
you
paid
think.
for idiots in America.
Oh, that's just terrible. That's terrible. I
Donna
love
says,
it.
yeah, the little Billy badass over there, Vic. Yeah, they
Uh-huh.
act like they're so tough.
Uh-huh.
So tough.
That's right. So tough. Troy is saying zero. What is he saying? The zero nozzle to the, the ball sacks, nut sacks. I don't know that those balls. I don't know that those are all guys though. I really don't. I think there's some girls standing.
But then the power washer would cut it off.
It would cut it off. Well, that okay.
And
That's,
then you
That's the way. To
And
be a
now
chick.
you have a vagina.
Now you have a vagina. There you go. That's a way that would save, these places that are doing transgender surgeries a lot of money. Just line them up against the wall and shoot them with a.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Where have we gone with the show today?
I don't know, but apparently it's a good thing. Yeah. Move a little to the left. Move a little right. Stand on your tippy toes.
By the way, another quick update on the farce that is the hush money case and Trump's attorneys team just destroying Stormy Daniels.
Oh, I love it.
This is good news. Basically, Trump's attorney, who's doing this portion of the trial, on the stand today, Daniels claimed that Trump's bodyguard got her information for Trump, but in 2011, Daniels said Trump came and asked her himself. That's already in written testimony. She's continues to lie over.
Lie.
Once again, I know it's all liberals, hardcore progressive left liberals who are leading this fake trial. And I still say that they're going to find him guilty of something, but the evidence all shows that this is all fake. It's a sham. So the attorney then says to Stormy Daniels, my, oh my, your story has evolved over the years, hasn't it? Stormy claims she just has trouble remembering. Unfortunately, Daniels tells the story so much for profit between her book and tours that she should have had her story straight. She's getting exposed by the moment in her second day again. I'm sorry, she's garbage. She's trash, and I feel bad for the decisions that she's made in her life.
Mhm.
But not only is her body trash, but her soul is trash right now. And she can still change, but right now, all we see is just a piece of white lying trash.
Yeah, she is
trying to destroy a man who's trying to stand in front of the deep state in this country.
Yeah.
Take it for what it is.
There you go.
I mean, if you're going to get on the stand and lie, you're trash. You're complete white trash.
That's right.
And well, I don't remember now. I don't know. It's a shit show trial, and she is the perfect person to be the face of the trial.
She really is. Perfect.
Jeannie says she's a hooker. Call her what she is.
I agree, Jeannie. I mean, she's not a star.
And there's another H word too.
There is.
That rhymes with store.
Mm-hmm.
That exactly I've been told is what she is. Kathy says, here's what I'm confused by, guys. They're both adults. And even if he gave her money to keep quiet, she took it. Therefore, she broke a contract between those two. She should have to give the money back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary says, Vic, preach it.
I
Preach
agree.
it. She owes him $500,000 in cash.
That's
We've
right.
talked about
She
this so
owes
many
him
times.
money.
Because she's been a lying liberal left loony.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. This is
That's
all
right.
simple stuff. We're not trying to be mean. We're about facts over feelings. Facts first, then we'll talk about your feelings later. Because when you see what has been done to Donald Trump, which is unlike anything anybody else has had to go through, especially in politics, we're going to talk facts. Landon says that bitch has been paid to perjure herself for optics. It's a standing objection. It's BS.
That's right. And it's been one thing after another. And even if they had done this, there's no proof of it. And that's not even what this case is about. So it's just nothing but a cluster. Nothing.
Great show, guys. Time for me to pull my weeds out of the mulch with all this rain. Robert says, yeah, Stormy's being used. Now that is a funny statement.
That is a funny statement. That's an oxymoron. For sure.
We love you here on cancelthisshow.com. We do. Donna says hoes go after men with money when they're too old. But that is true. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful because I mean, money's a big thing, but you'll see men, get into their 70s or close to their 70s who have a lot of money, and they'll offer younger women money.
Correct.
They'll offer them opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many women that'll take it to be set up.
That's right.
To be set up financially.
And they're willing to do it. And the guy's willing to pay it.
You see 20-year-olds doing it with 50-year-olds and ages
and
of
sometimes
time.
older, like 80 years old.
Oh, I know. I trust me. I have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it as well.
And it happens. But, and then, I'm in love.
And they're not.
With money.
With money. There you go. With money. Because I'm this cute little thing, gorgeous, and I'm with this guy that he looks like he's 80 years old and he looks like a turtle, but I like his Corvette. And
or
his
is
little
80.
mansion. Or is 80. It's
Glenn
okay.
says, can you say Anna Nicole Smith? I've always wondered that. I've looked at that.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Because
people
I mean,
that are
I
like
literally,
that.
when I was, coming out of divorce single, oh, you're going to go look for a younger, I've had friends, younger, got to go younger. I was like, younger? Are you kidding me? I don't want younger. I want somebody life experience like me,
Correct.
the right person.
Mhm.
But I see a lot of dudes, I got to have younger. They
Yeah.
don't want somebody age appropriate.
That's a good word. They don't want something age appropriate. People be age appropriate. Go with life today.
Not saying that it can't be good, but
Most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not.
I don't know.
I'm not saying 10 or 13 years. I'm just talking about these people that are like 20 going after an 80-year-old, because age is just a number. You really could be 50
Yeah.
and fall in love with somebody that's 70, or somebody that's 30, fall in love with somebody that's 50.
Yeah, but if you're 40 and you're looking for a 70-year-old,
right,
I'm
that's
sorry.
different. That's
It's-
different. Because the 40-year-old should look at that person as a parent role model, not somebody.
Glenn says it's all superficial,
It is, yeah.
and it can be.
And like Jeannie's saying, some people need moms. Some people need dads, and they go for a dad figure, a mom figure. But your dad and mom don't do the things you have to do for the Corvette you're driving.
Mm-hmm. But I also know guys that only date young women so they can be in total control.
That's probably true too. They want to be in control, because if you're a 20-year-old woman, you could be controlled a lot more than once you become 50. There is no controlling us anymore. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't control a 50-year-old woman. Just telling you.
I don't know, man.
How about a 20-year-old woman? I'm just sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
I know
even
someone-
30-year-old women, you can't.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know where
That's
we've
true.
gone with the show, but
I don't know.
it
but
is towards the end. So.
It is. I mean, just don't get in a relationship, bottom line, because of money and control. Don't just get in there.
Yeah, but
because
there's
you
still
like them.
people who will say, well, it's not about money.
Well, maybe it isn't for them. Maybe I'm judging them too much, and it's not. Maybe they are just absolutely in love with grandpa. Maybe they are. Who am I to say?
Oh, that's great.
Well, really, who am I to say? I've been with the same guy since 1982. So who am I to say?
Chris says, going after that 20+ year age gap is just like wanting a sports car or motorcycle for the first time in your 50s. It's another form of midlife crisis.
Very true. Very true. Got to turn it in for a better model.
I can tell you, I've seen girls date older guys that didn't have money. So money might not have been the factor. I don't know. It could have been something else, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, could have been. That's what I'm saying. Who am I to judge? I'm sitting here judging, and maybe I shouldn't be judging whatsoever. Maybe I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Hey, we're here Monday through Friday, by the way, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. News headlines, water cooler talk, politics, political interviews from all over the country, local, state, national. Tomorrow's Friday already. It's been another damn fast week. We got a free-for-all show tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe we should do food stuff tomorrow. Joe, are you prepared to do stuff with the cans or anything like that?
I mean, that I can show live on air. Those cans,
that's
as
good.
far as the other stories that I wanted to put with that, I probably wouldn't have those prepared, but I would definitely show those cans for sure.
Yeah, that would be good. And you know what? They're thinking another podcast should come out with you and I. Susan's saying that we can have the Vic and Lick dating advice.
Oh, yeah, the Vic and Lick dating advice show.
Uh-huh.
Chris says women who go after the older guys have daddy issues.
That's probably true.
Probably has a bike. Will Eric be there? I think Eric will be here tomorrow. I haven't asked him. We'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully so. He can come sit on the crack.
Yeah, and I'll talk to Kelly. See if we have Kelly Mano in for the Kelly Mano show.
There you go.
I think she is. So we'll see how that goes. Guys, we appreciate it. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing our shows. If you know of people who need to see us, go out, subscribe, send our stuff out. Let people know. We appreciate it. Advertisers, sponsors, affiliate marketing, let us know. We're doing our best there. Also, don't forget about David Gregory, show advertiser, show sponsor. If you've been in a car accident of any kind, there's nobody better. I used him twice. He was amazing. He blew everybody else away. He's worth a call. You got to give him a call or check him out at gregoryformissouri.com, gregoryformissouri.com. gregoryformissouri.com. His phone number 314-619-4230. He'll take the cost way down for what he does. If you say you're from Cancel This, or if you know somebody, before you do it, let him know. Also, any workers' comp situations and anything from a conservative standpoint. He's a super conservative attorney, and he fights for people in those conservative causes who've been wronged because of something that may have happened because of their conservatism. All right, guys, thanks again for joining us today. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Megan's show, again, is titled what, Joe?
Invisible Innocence.
Invisible Innocence. Her first show taping will be Friday. We'll let you know when you can watch it, but it'll be in all these same sites that we're on as well. It's not live, guys. Yeah, her podcast will not be live. Maybe at some point it will be, but we'll tell you where you can find it. All right. Old men need younger women so they can push their wheelchair around.
Okay, well,
All
there
right.
you go.
There you go.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
I'm sorry. Just younger women should not be dating older guys.
I agree.
And guys shouldn't be doing that. The 20-year gap is
It's
pretty
pushing
bad.
it.
Yeah.
It's pushing it.
Anyway, have an awesome day. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Have a great day. That does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting.